I never wanted to be a firefighter. I was more partial to the opposing side. Hiya, you two.
Hello.
Hello and hello.
Who are you?
I'm Marty, and this is my twin brother, Hardy.
We are Siamese twins, but I bet you already suspected as much.
Hottie and Marty? Those are highly unusual names.
Well,
That's because our dad is Japanese.
and our mom is of Hopi origin.
But you must have suspected as much. You can tell from Hardy's almond eyes.
Why are you just sitting around here?
We're making sure no one steals our bed.
But all the beds are the same.
Ha! That's what you think. If you know what to look for, there are huge differences.
It's like with Hardy and me, there are few people who can distinguish between us. But after a while, you start to recognize the differences.
That is our secret twin power, so to speak. We see the differences where others just shrug their shoulders helplessly.
Which brings us back to the subject of beds.
On first appearance, they all look the same.
But this one here,
Is the only one with a bed sheet.
Why are the both of you only wearing one sweater?
that's a silly question.
It's much too warm for wearing two.
You're not Siamese twins at all.
Correct. We are actually Siamese triplets.
But Brody is away in Paris studying art history.
Yes, he's always been the strange one.
I'm taking off. Will you come along?
No.
We have the softest blanket in the whole world right here.
And where, pray tell, would we go anyway?
See you later.
Rock on.
And send my regards to Lady Liberty if you see her.
Stop fidgeting for a moment. I have an idea. You're free.
Wow!
What's going on? What have you done?
Are you a surgeon or something?
You're only as crazy as you feel. What's wrong? You're free! Each of you guys can do whatever you always wanted to do.
Oh, the wealth of possibilities.
And the accompanying pressure that comes with it.
Ooh, my.
I've seen my share of this sort. Here we go! The next exit is approaching. I'd break every bone in my body if I did that. The next exit is approaching. The next exit is approaching. What do you think, Harvey? Shall I press it?
I'd like to see that.
I'm gonna do it.
Go ahead, be my guest.
I'll do it. I'll really do it.
You don't have the guts.
I'm serious.
Chicken! Chicken! Edna!
What now?
It doesn't seem to have had any effect.
This is by far the softest sheet I've ever seen. Here we go! The next exit is approaching. The next exit is approaching. I'd rather not disturb them. I'm sure they want to be left alone. I don't want to take it all at once. The next exit is approaching. Hey, the beds haven't been made. I guess I'll have to take stern measures. You're not supposed to eat chips in bed. Here we go! The next exit is approaching. Hey, this is Mr. Frog. This is a registration for group therapy. A postcard from Vladvakistan. Look here. The foreign minister postmarked the stamp with his own incisors. This says, the moon falls down to Earth. That's a bit worrying. A compact file cabinet for suspension folders. A compact file cabinet for suspension folders. Let's see. Just another load of files. Hey, this looks useful. There's a list of the current inmates. It shows where I can find their corresponding patient histories. I seem to know some of the names. Well, normally I don't care much about files, but snooping around in other people's patient histories is so delightfully prohibited. So, whose patient history shall I look at? Is this supposed to be a patient's history? I quote, name, B-man. First pet, black pony. Characteristic, was always chosen first during physical education lessons. That's all. Is this supposed to be a patient's history? I quote, name, Adrian, king of the recreation room. First pet, red cat. Characteristic, was always chosen second during physical education lessons. That's all. Is this supposed to be a patient's history? I quote, name, Drogglejug. First pet, green dog. Characteristic, was always chosen third during physical education lessons. That's all. Is this supposed to be a patient's history? I quote, name, Peter. First pet, blue goldfish. Characteristic, was always chosen next to last during physical education lessons. That's all. Is this supposed to be a patient's history? I quote, name, Hottie. First pet, yellow rat. Characteristic, was always chosen last during physical education lessons. That's all.